All right. Hello. We're back. I know it's been a minute. I'm Tamika, and this is.
Robin.
And we are doing our petty vlog. We just decided again today, this is just be random, that we would just come on today and talk about colorism. Ooh, a good one. Because this one over here was mad because we told her when she was young she was light skinned. I don't know why that's a sore subject because I've always been this colored. And I got teased in school for being dark, but I didn't care because I knew when I grew up I was going to look like my mom, and my mom is beautiful. So I was just in my head while people was teasing me, I was like, I don't even care because when I grow up, I'm going to be fine like my mother. So that never bothered me because our dad is fair skinned. So, we just all got different shades. I'm one of the darkest. Obviously, me and my mom, besides us, which I don't have a problem with it. But some people do, and I think in America is still like that. And especially and it's bad, especially amongst Black people too. It's in the world of modeling and all that type of stuff. It's getting better, but still, it's always been that way. Look, I ain't get in style till what, the late 90s. That's when I became a high commodity. But before then, you had to be light skinned with long hair, maybe light eyes. But hey, to each his own. And she's Lemute. I don't know. Stay.
I'm not mute.
You all like.
I mean, because I don't have a problem with colorism. I don't think I was that mad because they said I was light skinned. I just don't think I'm light skinned, so I
No,
just
she's not
didn't.
light skinned now. She's brown skinned. Clearly, we can all see that. But we're just saying, as a child, she was lighter because as babies when we're first born, a lot
A
of
lot
us
of us
are
are light.
lighter
Yeah,
than
babies get their color not. They don't get their color right away, so you
right.
don't know most of the time.
Exactly. But yeah, with Black kids, they always would say, "Look at the ears." And if
Hmm.
the ears was darker, that was what color the baby was. And 9 times out of 10, that was true. But I don't have a problem with color either. I never have. I have two biracial children, so it's.
But have you ever dated outside your race?
I went on a date, so I guess, yeah, it wasn't a long term
Right,
relationship, but
right.
I went on a couple of dates with people that weren't Black men. So I don't think I've never had a problem with it. My preference was Black men, so
Hmm.
I wasn't opposed to it though. If I had met a guy that was not Black and we gelled well together and we had a lot of things in common and we just fell in love, and then we just would have fell in love, and that would have been it. But that wasn't the case. By the
Hmm.
time I started dating and liking guys, I was attracted to Black men.
Yeah.
I saw we had a figure in our home. Our dad was a Black man, a strong Black man, and that's what you look for when you start dating. Some people don't want nothing like their daddy. But he had all the qualities that I look for in a man. My
Hmm.
dad,
Right.
great sense of humor, a good provider,
Hmm. Right.
strong,
Yeah.
kind. So yeah, generous. He was generous with
Yeah.
us.
He was. Yeah. He
Yeah, he
was.
passed away, but yeah, he was a good guy.
Hmm.
He was an awesome guy,
Yeah.
actually. That was our first love because that's the first man you see in your life, the first figure.
That's usually what happens with a girl. That's why a lot of girls have to have that. that strong male
or
figure.
should have
they
that.
Well, they should. Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't have to because a lot of girls don't.
But
we should,
I'm glad that my daughter has that. She sees that in the household.
Right.
We off topic, but still, we can talk about whatever. But I was just thinking about, color and colorism, and if my kids they don't never really talk about it. They did ask why they weren't the same color that I am, but I did tell them that God made us all different shades. I was like, you guys are an awesome golden brown, and that's the shade, that God intended you to be. And God intended me to be chocolate. So, yeah, and that's, just what it is. And I think the only time I felt like I wanted to be lighter was when I was young and people was teasing me. And then I went home and told my mom, and she was like, "Don't be, ashamed of being dark. I'm dark, And then I looked at it and I was like, "She is, and she's beautiful, and she don't never had a problem with it, and never let nobody tell her that she was less than because of it." So then I started thinking like, okay, whatever. You black, so tar baby, so just trying to be mean
right.
stuff, so. Or in high school, I got a lot of, Tamika's cute to be as dark as she is. That's not a compliment.
Yeah.
Because y'all saying it like dark women can't be cute, but I'm an exception to the rule. And that there's no rule. Either you're beautiful or you're nice looking or you're not. I don't think it depends on the skin tone.
But everybody views color different anyway, though, because I have been told by people that I'm dark skinned. I mean, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't bother me, but I have been told before that I'm dark skinned, so I'm like, whatever they feel.
I don't think you're dark skinned though.
I mean, whatever a person feels, I don't care.
You're
comfortable.
You're more caramel complected. If
I'm
anything.
comfortable in the skin I'm in, regardless of what color.
I am
it was
too.
Yellow, blue. I'm comfortable.
Right.
So whatever that person thinks.
And I didn't discriminate
care.
against somebody because I can't be her friend because she light or she
we
too
had
dark.
all different kinds. In our
there was
household.
A rainbow coalition in our home.
She has an Asian best friend, so I mean,
so
and I
have
Asian we had
everything.
I had a good Indian friend growing up.
Right.
I had a good Asian friend growing up.
My best Asian friend doesn't believe when I was in 5th grade I had a friend from Russia. She don't believe me. I don't know if she just didn't believe in me then, but I did have a friend who was from Russia. She was Russian. Her name was Ella. Yeah, she was, she was we were good friends. I think I was either in 4th or 5th grade. Me and Ella. I did, her parents, they weren't blatantly racist, but I remember going over her house one time and I had to use the bathroom and they made me put tissue on the seat because she said her mom had sprayed something on the seat. But then I thought about it later and I was like, they just didn't want me on there because they thought I was dirty or something.
Yeah. They told you?
Yeah, she was like, well, my mom cleaned it. I think she told her that she cleaned it with something, so make her put some tissue on the seat.
On the seat.
But if you knew us and knew our mom, we wasn't no dirty kids. Never. We're not dirty, period. Amongst the stereotypes, what people thought, and maybe they're not, they didn't know, but to know our mom and know she didn't do dirty kids, no, she didn't. We had to. She made sure of that.
Yeah, we were never.
She got dirty in our ass about everything, especially when we became teenagers. Oh no. Nah. And start feeling yourself. Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't play that. Just like I don't play that. She got boys, and boys, they try to be stinky too, but she don't play that either.
But I don't play that
but
either.
I
try, but I don't.
I have a boy and a girl. But with the girl, and I don't try to be real hard on her, but I still
You have to be a little
tell a
bit
little bit,
more, yeah.
just
For not
let
not
them
hard,
know.
but just forceful, just letting her know
Yeah, letting her
like
know certain
this is
things
what
that
women do or
do
and don't
and
do.
certain things that aren't acceptable in
For a
certain
woman, yeah. I
ways,
mean, it sucks,
because you're
but
becoming a woman, you should, it's
it sucks, but it's true because she has a lot of male cousins, and I think she
hmm
looks at them, but
yeah, and
you
she's a
still
tomboy
certain
right now,
things,
but
yeah,
still
that
it's
you
still
have to
certain
do.
things that they do that you
That she
can't do,
can't
and
do.
just certain things, and then ways you should smell, and
Hmm.
and I always tell her, you know this is, you have two males in the house too, and they shouldn't, they shouldn't smell you, looks just like they shouldn't smell me.
Hmm.
Never. I wish my son would come to mommy, you stinking. It ain't never happened.
Right.
They hug me and they be like, mommy, you smell good. Thank you.
Hmm.
I tried. We have our days, when you need to shower more than others, but just
But you don't never,
keep
yeah,
yourself
just
clean. I don't just be out here nasty,
yeah. Hmm.
being stinky.
Because it's a difference. Like if you've been working out or something, obviously you may
Yeah.
not be as fresh as you would like to be,
Right.
but you don't just go around on a daily basis being
Right. And then I
funky.
don't I
Yeah.
don't just come home and let the sweat dry up and then go out.
Hmm.
you know, I come home from my walks, and yes, I sweat. I layer up and I sweat, and yeah,
Hmm.
I'd be like, ooh, yeah, girl, you need to get in the shower.
Hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just certain things. But I think with them being biracial, I think it's a stigma, because sometimes either you too light or you're not light enough, and they're gonna be in the middle.
Hmm.
You're not white, but you're not black enough either, and I don't want them to ever have to go through that, but they probably will, because it happens.
And it seems like a lot of kids biracial, they have to choose a side because, like you said, you may not fit in with the white kids because you're too dark, and you may not fit in with the black kids because you're too light.
Light,
And unfortunately, usually they fit in better with the black kids because I think they're
because
more
they're more
accepting,
accepting, it seems
right?
like,
Because of the way most of us are brought
in
up,
certain
and it's
certain
sad, but
settings, yeah.
that's
But
how it
a
is.
lot of times,
Like I don't know too
I
many,
see.
yeah, I don't know too many biracial people or kids that are like, um I mean, that
Well,
maybe I do, maybe I just don't.
I've met some in my adult life, that some girls that were younger than me, and they were raised by all white parents, and
Hmm.
don't even know the black side of their family. So,
Yeah, I've never met
and
anybody like that.
I have just, and
Mm-mm.
yeah, I met a girl like that, and she dated white men. She,
Hmm.
never, she said she never knew her father. Her mother was white, and she was raised by, her stepfather, who was white,
Right.
and that is what it, is what it is.
Hmm.
She and she, I don't know if she chose a side, but that's what she was around. Her
So that's
environment
what she,
was
yeah.
all
Hmm.
white, so of course that's what you know.
Yeah.
I don't fault
I mean, it's
people.
unfortunate if you have to. Some people
Yeah,
don't have to choose a side,
yeah. I don't.
but I
Yeah,
have noticed like growing up that some of the biracial kids like, oh well, I can't hang out with this person because I'm too light or I'm too dark.
hmm yeah. I never. That was never an issue to me,
Mm-mm.
for me. I was always curious about other races and other nationalities. So because when I saw my best friend, I was like, oh, never had an Asian friend. I'm
I
gonna
just didn't care if you was a
introduce
cool
her.
person. If you cool to me, then I'm cool to you. If you mean to
Yeah,
me, then I'm mean back to you. I
right.
didn't
It
really
don't
care
it
what.
don't really
Yeah, the
matter
color didn't
about
bother
color.
me. Yeah,
Yeah, the
I never
race.
looked at somebody like, oh, you're such and such, so I can't be friends with you. No, if you cool and we mesh together, the energy is there,
Yeah,
then we
then it's
friends.
there,
If not,
right?
then we're not.
Just like with when you meet a guy.
Hmm.
If I had met a guy before if I had, like I said, if I had met a white guy or Asian, you know, Hispanic,
Mm-hmm.
because that's, we went to school with our school was very diverse.
Yep.
It was, it was mainly when I went, it was mainly white though.
Well,
It was
in the lower grades, it was all white. But then once I got to once
yeah,
I started getting to middle
and
school and
well,
high school,
our elementary school was
was
all
all white.
white.
Yeah, I was the only black. I was the only black girl for like till fourth grade when I met one of my best friends, and that's when I
in her class. But
that's
in
when
every
I
class,
found
every
a
grade,
black girl.
she was the
Mm-hmm.
only black girl in every grade. You know how you do the pictures, the group
Right,
pictures,
it'd be I was the only black face. But as a kid, you don't even think about. Now I think about it because I know about race and all that. But when I was young, it didn't bother me. I used to go to school every day. It never bothered me. I never even thought about it because that was the normal. When something is normal to you, you just go along with it, and that's what it was. And then when I got to like middle school, because we did first, like kindergarten through sixth grade, then seventh and eighth grade, I started seeing a few more black faces sprinkled in. Then high school, yeah, it was very diverse.
Your school was more diverse than my high school, though.
It probably was because.
But at that time, my high school was newer.
It was
too,
newer, yeah,
and it was in a predominantly white neighborhood. Which now it's not like that.
Yeah.
But when I went back in the, it was more. It was predominantly white, and the school was newer too.
Right.
In an area where there were more whites, just
and that's just how it was.
That's how it was, right?
And it didn't even, and that wasn't even it wasn't even by coincidence. We always grew up in that area, so
we were gonna go to those schools.
I chose a different one, but
she chose a different high school, and her high school was more. It was like older. Half and half, so and it was an older high school, and then it was in an area where there was. The area was diverse, so of course the kids gonna be diverse too. So,
but also too the area wasn't diverse at that time. That's when they start busing a lot of kids from different areas, and I know they probably do this in a lot of cities or states around the country. They start busing some of the. I don't want to say underprivileged because I don't feel like they were underprivileged.
They just live on the other side of town.
Yeah, our cousin lived over there, and I just feel like
she wasn't underprivileged. Yeah. She just was bused.
They just lived in a different area.
They lived in a different area code in a different district.
Yeah,
but then they started letting them combining the districts.
I think because they needed that either they needed the diversity, or maybe
somebody complained.
Yeah, somebody probably complained. That's probably what happened. Because when I went to high school, there were several. It wasn't no.
Because my high school, at first it was all white. Then like you said, they started busing. Yeah. Because I remember this guy. I was waiting for my dad to pick me up after school one time, and it was me, this other black girl, and a white guy, and she was talking about how she, live in the projects and all this and that. So then she left, and then he was like, "Tamika, do you live in the projects too?" I said, "No." But and I don't even think he meant any malice. Like he was just that ignorant and didn't know.
Right.
And I said, "No, sir, I don't." Yeah. I was like, "No." I wasn't really offended, but I was like, everybody black don't live in the projects. I said, actually, I live up over here up the street, because I did, it wasn't in walking distance, but I lived in that area. I was going to that school because I lived in that area. I did take the bus, but I wasn't bused from the other side of town. Right. I took a bus because a bus came in our neighborhood. But no, I was like, no, I don't live in the projects. I don't, have to live in the projects. I was like, no.
Maybe like you said, in his head, he thought, oh, she took and that because one girl
and there, I knew the girl because we had a couple classes together, but I knew her from school. I didn't know her from the neighborhood.
Personally,
yeah, I didn't know, and we weren't even, friend. We was high and by, but we wasn't cool like that. But I just was like a little taken back, and I was like, no, I don't live in the projects. Which, I guess it couldn't have been a bad thing because when we got older and me and my husband moved back to Rockford, he didn't know the projects was the projects. I was like, oh no, we're not living over there. We was looking for a place to stay. He was like, oh, what's wrong with these? No, 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 no. I guess him
because
coming
he was
from
looking at the price too.
yeah, and then him coming from Chicago, the projects looked a little bit different, And I told him, I said, no, we will not be living on that side of town, and yeah, those are projects. I don't want to live out there. But it just all depends, and I don't know. The world is the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's always going to be racism.
Yeah,
it sucks, but
we're
it is
so many years beyond civil rights and all of that, and it's still racism. It's
blatant racism, a lot of racism,
and I think it's gotten a little bit worse over the
actually,
because I thought we had come a long way, and now it's gotten back to the
worse,
same thing. Yeah,
especially when TRUMP was in office, people just didn't care. They started being more vocal, blatant with it. Right.
Racist,
yeah. But there's always gonna be colorism. It's always gonna be racism, and it's it's sad but true. Very sad but true. So just deal with it.
I mean, you have to. There's no. I mean, if you're gonna live, in America, you have to just either deal with it or I mean we probably could keep like marching to do stuff about it, but I don't know how much change that's gonna make. I would hope when my kids get to a certain age, maybe it would be a little bit better, especially since they're boys. It's because it's bad for little brown boys.
Yeah,
it's hard to say, but it is.
Yeah,
I mean, I know people always talk about all lives matter. They do. But little brown boys have it bad.
Bad too. Yep.
And then,
we're both raising black sons, black to be black men, and it's sad. When my son came home and told me that in school they learned if a bad man comes into school, tell him please don't shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Put your hand, Mommy, we have to put our hands up. I cried. I went in the bathroom and cried because I was like, because I used to ask them, oh, how was school today? Mm-hmm. Look, my eyes wet now because that just broke my heart though.
Yeah,
him 5 years old coming home telling me that's what he learned in school today, that if a bad man coming to school, please tell him please don't shoot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then just them seeing things, and then when this when in February when we was doing Black History Month, he was like, yeah, they shot Martin Luther King because he was black and a white guy did it. I was like, well, it didn't happen
like
totally
that,
like that. I said, that is, you do have it right, but you ain't got to say it with such force and me, and it, that is how it happened, but, still try to explain to him a little better.
A little bit more about it.
And a little bit more about it.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter was mad because I didn't go to the I Have a Dream speech and I wasn't even born then. So she was mad. Talking about, did you... Mommy, I read the speech. I was like, yeah, I know about it. You heard it? I said, yeah. She was like, were you there? I said, no. She was like, why not? I said, well,
I wasn't born.
First off, why are you upset? And secondly, I wasn't even born then.
To be there, right?
Right. My husband was in the living room. He was cracking up because he could hear the anger in her voice. Like, how come I wasn't a part of it? But it was super funny. But
it's like, somebody asked Mommy, was she a slave? Didn't they?
Who?
I thought I thought one of our kids asked her, was she a slave?
I don't know. Probably.
But that's just that's how that's how they look at it, and they like, oh, this happened back in those days. My sons always be saying the olden days. What?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not the olden days.
My kids they were shocked when they said, Mom, you were a kid? I said, yes.
I'm like,
you think I just came out a grown person?
Right.
And then they thought I was like 90 years old. They thought I was older than Santa. What?
Yeah, they in their perception,
Yeah,
they
you know
think,
that.
yeah.
But Chloe, I don't even be talking about age around her yet, because my mom's 40. She be telling I be like, dang.
Yeah, Dylan tell everybody.
Can I be great for a minute? Can people think, let them get their own perception? Don't be telling my age. Shoot. I mean, walking. Yeah, my mom's girl. Who asked you? Be telling it all. Aiden don't be telling, but Chloe will tell it.
They be telling. They'll tell my age all day long.
Chloe,
but I don't really care, because
I don't care either, but still don't be telling my business.
never get, nobody ever guesses the right age anyway,
right.
So it doesn't matter.
So it don't, yeah.
But yeah, you don't have to run around telling.
But
I
don't want you guessing higher either. Be like, what?
That don't really matter to me either. I be laughing about it, like, because nobody really does. I probably had one person that guessed higher, and I think they was doing it to be either facetious, or just being stupid, because there's no way. There's no way the guess. I forgot what the guess was. It was ridiculous. I'm like, you're ridiculous.
Yeah, you're dumb.
So, but yeah, but I don't care.
You mad? You mad? No. So yeah, but what are we back on? Colorism. I don't know. It's not an issue in our household. When my daughter plays in my makeup, it is, because I'm like 5 shades darker than her, and then her face look dirty when she tried to put on my makeup. And I'd be like, Chloe, we're not even the same color.
Yeah.
And you're 9, so why are you trying to wear makeup for anyway?
Because everybody always say, yeah, I got little beige kids, but I mean, they dad is lighter, so I guess it was meant to be.
She thought
I don't think Evan is light anymore.
She thought she was gonna have a kid my color.
I think Evan is the same color. I said
all your kids are gonna be beige. I told her. Well, she could. Well, I guess she done. You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
I wanted her to have a little girl. But if she have a little girl, that little girl gonna be so spoiled. You ain't gonna be able to say nothing to that little girl. Robin gonna be like, "What she do?" Nah, she didn't. No, what y'all do to her? And then her brothers are gonna be super protective, especially Evan.
Yeah,
Dylan, Dylan is Dylan.
Yeah, Evan is gonna be protective.
Very protective. Because he already want to fight people about his cousins, and they ain't even in the same school yet. They're going to be, though.
But he already asked me, can he fight people when they get to high school? He
asked if he could protect them.
And they're only 10. Well, he's 10, she's 9. So, why are you asking about that right now?
And my son is right behind him. He'll be 8 in a couple of...
But he asked me, could he fight people?
Yeah,
and I
for
said,
them.
You can defend yourself, but you can't just go around starting fights. But I'm glad that he. So he has
it's going to be interesting when they.
But I just don't want to be getting called to the school every other day. Yeah,
it is going to be very interesting.
She gonna have to go up there and get him.
I'm gonna be like, girl, they didn't call again. And then we're gonna be like, which one was it?
Right,
because this gonna be Only person that I think is not really going to be a fighter is Chloe. Chloe not really a fighter. Aiden, he'll bang with you. The time I saw him jump
Dylan's
off
gonna
that
be
bus.
Gone, so they won't really get to have...
Dylan's not a fighter either, though.
Well, he fight Evan, but he don't fight other people. He just fight his brother.
But they're more...
Because he was on top of him on Friday when I don't know, I turned my back.
But they're more... They're just not fighters. Chloe get on the bus, sit on the bus with her hands, and the bus driver said her legs be crossed, and she just sit there and look out the window. And that time Aiden was on the back fighting for his life. I don't think he was fighting for his life, but she was sitting at the front of the bus with her legs crossed. So I said, girl, if I ever hear about your brother back there getting beat up and you ain't help, you getting it. Well, of course you're at the front of the bus with your legs crossed. You didn't know, because you ain't check on them. But yep, a couple of kids at Chloe's school, I went up there and they was like, "You're Chloe's mom?" And I was like, "Yeah." And the little girl looked at me like she wanted to say something. And I looked at her like, "Say it, I dare you." And she didn't say it. I was like, "Don't," because little kids are very, very. They have no filter.
Yeah.
And they be like, "Why you so dark and she's so light?" But hey, that's just the way it is. And then we get a lot of looks when people be like, "Mommy," when they hear them say "mommy," and we be out, they be looking like, and I be looking like,
what? Right. Hi. It's me, Mom.
Yep, Mom. I'm Mom. Yep. That's not your friend. Nope. My daughter. And what about it? And so what about it? So, yeah. But I just remember in my high school, it was 3 or 4 biracial girls, and they were all friends, and they called themselves the Yellow Girls.
Stupid.
Well, that was their thing, They was all friends, and they had that clique, and they was all yellow, so to speak. I
guess.
I never really was like, "Oh, she had yellow." I always was like, "She's light skinned." I never called girls red bones and a guy a red bone. I don't like that. And I know people probably gonna say it about Chloe. I remember when she first came to me and my neighbor was like, "What, you got a half breed?" I was like, "What? A half breed? What?" Because me and Chloe was going to check the mail and I had her, I was holding her. And she was like, "What, you got a half breed?" I was like, "Girl." I said, "Yeah, she's biracial." If that's what you mean. I said, "I don't call her a half breed." But yeah. People might be, they might call her a red bone. They was mad because their cousins, they was at the house and the cousins was calling them light skin. I said, "You mad about that?" Well, he was saying, "Shut up, light skin, shut up, light skin."
Who said that?
Myron's son was saying that to them. Why did you say? Why you keep saying that, little Myron?
And where'd you get that from?
Right, he was saying it to Summer.
But little
Summer
kids don't
and
just
Chloe
come up with
and
that.
Aiden.
Yeah.
Shut up, light skin. Why would you say that?
Yeah.
So
somebody told him that.
And it was Summer, Taylor. Yeah, because Summer and Taylor about the same color, and then my kids, and they said that he kept calling them light skin, telling them to shut up. I said, "Your feelings are hurt about light skin?" Tomorrow. "Well, yeah, we don't like being called that." I was like, "Okay." But, it is what it is. I have no realms or anything about it, and I never judged a person based on their skin color. It was always based on the person themselves, the type of person that they are. I have good friends that are white. Like, my best friend is Asian. I have an Asian best friend who's a female, and then I have a black best friend who's a male. So,
Well, at this point in time, I don't have any white friends. It's just, I just don't have any. It's not that I couldn't or I wouldn't. It's just that I don't. I would be okay with it, but
what?
But I don't. What was you saying?
I just was saying nothing. I was just like,
because my kids, they come to the house all different colors. She knows that they all come. Yeah. So
all of them.
Yeah. So. Because my kids are very friendly. Come to my house. Yeah, sure.
Always trying to do play dates and sleep. I've been seeing people coming up the driveway. Who's that?
Yeah, who's that? Yep.
No, we're not having company today. But they're very, very, very friendly. And I don't think they care.
They don't care about the color.
Because I was like, "Oh, your teacher, she black with you?" "No, Mom, she's black like you."
Yeah. Like, my kids said I was racist because I asked, was their friend black or white? I'm like, that's not I said, that's a valid question. I'm not racist. They said, stop being racist. I I just wanted to know if they were black
I
or
just
white.
asked if the teacher was nice, and one year Chloe did comments and say that her teacher looked like her because they was like the
Right.
same
Oh,
color,
okay.
and she was like, "Mommy, my teacher is my color." I said, "Is she?" I said, "That's
Mm-hmm.
awesome," But just just let her know that everybody don't have to be a certain color, and But I guess she wants this color because that's what she see in the house. Because me and
Mm-hmm.
Chris and
Yeah.
she just see us and figure, oh, I should be this color.
Yeah.
But I think she's cool with it.
Yeah,
Want
I
her to
know
be.
my kids, they don't care
They don't
about none of
care.
that. Mm-mm.
But
No.
they never really. It's not a big issue. They never really talk about it.
Yeah.
Like we had a cousin who was
That's all she want to talk about.
right
But
his
yeah,
skin
but
color and
we don't do that. I mean, if you want to discuss it in the house, you can, but
but
it
it's
just
not.
never
I
came
don't.
up with
Yeah, it's
my
not. It's
kids. We
not a
don't,
big
yeah.
issue. We don't discuss
That's
it.
not something that's in the forefront of our discussions.
Right.
Like I said, I'll ask them sometimes, is the person, is the person white or black? And that time they said I was being racist, so now I don't really ask. I'm like, oh, I'll
Yeah.
wait for them to tell me. Sometimes they'll
Yeah,
tell
they'll
me,
tell
they'll
me.
say, oh, she was Mexican, because I do notice that my youngest son, he goes to school and there are a lot of Hispanics. So he'll tell me that, but he
He
doesn't
liked the
they
Hispanic
don't
girls too.
they don't really say anything.
He
Yeah.
liked them, but he said he'll never tell me her name.
Yeah, he told me that too.
Yeah, he got a girlfriend, but he'll never tell.
Hmm.
But I think she's Hispanic.
I
Don't.
think Dylan said her name was Aubrey though.
No.
So I don't know.
But yeah, my kids don't. They don't ever really. They don't talk about. They don't talk about color at all. Not Chloe. I remember Chloe asking me to my mom, "I'm both, right?" I said, "Both of what?"
Hmm.
She was like, "Black and white." I said, "Yeah, you
Yeah.
are." Cause I'm not gonna lie to her. Yeah, you are. Half and half. I said, but don't get the mistake that you're superior or one is better than the other. I said, and
Hmm.
then society is still gonna see you as a black woman. So, you know, just take it for what it is. I said, you're just lighter, but you're still going to be considered a black woman. On your
Hmm.
birth certificate, it says African American.
It does.
Yeah, Aiden said Caucasian. At first, I had to change it. He's not Caucasian at all. I was like,
Yeah.
why does it
Why'd
say
they put
Caucasian?
that? Yeah.
It was like, it does. Yeah, it does. He's not.
Hmm.
But that's just how it is. But I know we haven't been on in a minute. When did we do
I
it?
don't know. It was a minute ago.
Was it in May?
No, I think it was before that.
It wasn't because I had the braids and I got my braids, my box braids. Look, I know dates. I got my box braids May 4th. I'm getting my next set July 14th.
Who
not,
cares?
not anybody knows I got
Who
these are
cares
these are
about
these,
that?
these are look these are my locks. She did the box braids over them. So but yeah. But I think it was
So I guess it's
May.
time to end because she talking way off topic. So chime in, tell
Oh,
us
and
what you think.
we didn't even say anything petty today. Did we have any petty comments
Mm-mm.
or petty things that happened?
No, what did you have anything petty that
You want
happened?
to talk about your petty date?
That'll be another. We'll save that for another because that's a long drawn out story.
It's funny. It's comical now.
Yeah, I laughed about it at the time, and I think that's why the guy was upset because I laughed. But I mean, it is par for the course. There's you have good dates and you have bad ones. I'm learning to.
Yeah.
I just laugh and
That's
just
funny though because I never really had a a chance when I was dating multiple people. I never had that.
Right,
Because
and that's how I felt before.
every relationship I had was kind of long term, so I couldn't.
It never was
It was no space.
But the dating pool is so different now. That's another petty topic that we have to talk about because the dating is so funny now. Everybody says it. Everybody that's single, they know. They say the dating is terrible now. So a lot of
Not
people
like
don't
we
even
used
want to
to
date.
be.
Yeah, because like you said, when you used to be, because even before I became single again, when I used to date back in the day, it never was like this. Never.
Well, I don't remember having a lot of dates.
I went on dates, but I didn't. It
No,
was
but
not
I
like
was,
this
because I was always with
with somebody.
somebody,
Yeah.
and it was, I wasn't
It's
supposed
not
to
like
be.
that now
Yeah.
because you can't just get with nobody because they crazy.
Yeah.
So you gotta really
Well, you gotta know that
look
person.
at it. Yeah, you
It's
gotta be
not just
like,
like everybody's crazy. Oh,
yeah.